In this video, we're going to go over how to fix a really annoying error that I've been getting with GitHub Pages and Jekyll integration. Now, I use this integration on my Night Codes blog, and it's been a real joy to use. It's totally customizable. Your whole entire blog is under source control, has great features like code formatting and highlighting, and it's been a real pleasure to work with. One of the things that GitHub recommends doing is just keeping up to date with their latest GitHub Pages gems, their Ruby gems. And the reason to do this is, they're updating things on their side, and you can run your blog locally and make changes and see the edits and then push to GitHub. And so if you update your local gems, you're going to stay in sync with what will actually be served by GitHub when you actually want to push your changes out to the public. So I've been doing that periodically, maybe every month or so. I do have Bundler installed, so I've just been running bundle update, and that's worked fine. I know people that don't have Bundler and they run this, and that seems to do the trick as well. So about a week ago, I ran the bundle update and ran into some errors, and it was not obvious how to overcome them. Searched online and didn't really have a whole lot of luck. So I wanted to make a video that will show how to overcome it. So first, let me show you what's going on. So let me run the site locally. So we're generated and serving it on port 4000. So let me get there. And we see that it's served fine. I can navigate, no problems. Go back to the terminal. Nothing's changed. We're good. Where the problem comes is if I try to make an edit to the site. So what it should do is it's basically watching the content of your site, and if you make any changes, it will regenerate that portion. And if I refresh my browser, I should see those changes. So if I come here and change this title from overview to intro and save it. So if we come here, we see that we have an error. So it saw the file change and tries to regenerate it. But now I'm getting this weird GitHub metadata, no GitHub API authentication could be found. And this stuff about SSL and certificate verify failed. Basically what this is saying is that there's some sort of issue with my local setup being verified to GitHub. And what this results in is I can't make changes locally and just refresh my browser to see those changes. If I go to the page where I made the change, where I wanted this to become intro and refresh it, it still serves the page, but it doesn't have my changes. And that's really annoying. So if I want to make changes to a page locally, I have to terminate the entire Jekyll process, regenerate the page, regenerate the whole site, that is, and then see my change. And so that is not sustainable and really annoying. To fix this issue, we have to do a couple things. So first, go to your GitHub profile page and click the Edit Profile button, and then the Personal Access Tokens tab. And we're going to generate a new token. I already have one that I'm going to use, but just to demonstrate, we'll generate a new one. Give it a description, whatever you want, doesn't matter. And just click the repo checkbox. That will give the permissions that it needs. And click Generate Token. And then copy and put somewhere the token that it spits out for you. Since I already have one I'm going to use, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. But for your case, make sure to copy this. So now that that's created, we have to download the latest CA certificates file. I'm not going to go into the details of what this is, but it's just basically a bunch of certificates that are public that Ruby uses and Perl uses to communicate to different places. So long story short, just copy all the text in the file and save it as a file named cacert.pem at some location on your machine. So I'm just going to put it in my documents, but you can put it wherever you want. So it's cacert.pem and save it. So now that those two steps are done, we have to add two system environment variables to our machine. So let me open up the environment variable editor. And so don't do a user variable, do a system variable. And so the first one is named Jekyll underscore GitHub underscore token. And then whatever the token was that GitHub gave you when you created it, paste that as the value. Click OK. And we're going to add one more environment variable. Its name is SSL cert file. And the value is the full path to where you saved that cacert.pem. So in my case, it's in my documents. And OK. Just keep on clicking OK until you're out. And at this point, you need to restart your machine. This is not optional. It won't work if you don't restart. So restart your machine now, and I'll meet you then. And we're back after restarting our machine. Let's generate and host our site again locally to see if our changes have made any effect. And it's being hosted on port 4000. So it's being hosted fine. Going to the page, everything looks okay. So we were able to get this far before. Now let's make the same change that we made earlier, where we made overview intro and save. If we go to PowerShell, we see that it picked up the change and that it was able to regenerate successfully, so we're not getting the error anymore. And if we refresh the page in our browser, we see that it updated the page as well. And so it now says intro, so we've overcome this error. So hopefully you found this video helpful if you were experiencing the same error that I was. As always, I'll put a link to the corresponding blog post in the notes. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to put a comment on the YouTube video or on the blog post. Thanks. Have a good one.